Hi guys, so I recorded this. This is my shoe. Do. Hi guys, so I recorded this video as one super long video at my parents' house. So that means two things. Number one, it's super long, so I decided to cut it into two parts. So this is part one, and part two will also be loaded on YouTube. And then the second part is you can sometimes hear doors closing or my nephew playing in the background. Please forgive me. I just still wanted to upload videos, even though I was not in my usual quiet space. Either way, I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you. Bye. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Pageturners with Nsuku. I am so excited to share with you the book that I read in January, which was a great reading month for me. I read three books, which of course I could have done better, but at the time it was on par with my reading goals for the year. And then February came and it was just like, but anyway, I will record a video specifically explaining what happened in February. But best believe the month of March is here and we are going to pick it up. Anyway, the books that I read in January, oh my goodness, were just amazing. First book was Deep Work by Cal Newport. Second book was Critical But Stable by Angela Makholwa. And the third book was A Promised Land by Barack Obama. Oh my goodness. All these books were amazing in so many different ways. And I just can't wait to get into them. So let's get started. So, Deep Work by Cal Newport. My goodness, what a thought-provoking book. Look, the book essentially describes the art of deep work, which the author describes as the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. It is a skill that allows you to quickly master complicated information and produce better results in less time. Now, the author essentially argues that deep work, this ability to focus on something without distraction for a specific period of time, is actually becoming increasingly valuable in our time at the same time that it is becoming increasingly rare. And so he basically encourages us to be people who dive into deep work, because then we can leverage this gap of something that's becoming increasingly valuable and increasingly rare at the same time. Now, the first part of the book essentially builds the case for deep work, what it is, why one needs to focus on it, why you need to build the skill, and so forth. So it might take a while to get into the how, especially for people who are so interested in the how part of things. So I just encourage you to be a bit patient. It did take a while to get into the how, which is what the second half of the book is about. But I mean, once you get to the second half, you understand now why it's important. And I think the why is really, really important, because once you now start to navigate the how, it is so justified that you will find a way to make it work. What I actually appreciated from the book was that the author made it clear that deep work doesn't look the same for everyone, right? So for some people, it could be setting aside days. Some people, it could be setting aside hours in a day. For some people, they set out months in which they focus on a project or something. So I think I really appreciated that, and for me to just essentially find where I fit. But at the end of the day, the author does advocate for deep work to be a habit. And so you have to fit it into your routine with some level of regularity. And look, I'm not doing the book justice because I think the author writes so well. It's so simple, yet it's so detailed. I just really enjoyed it, and I think you need to read the book, especially if you want to be somebody who wants to perform increasingly demanding tasks in a faster time. You want to be somebody who wants to learn a new skill. You want to set yourself apart. You want to become a deeper thinker. I think you should definitely go ahead and read the book. So that's my review of Deep Work. Listen, read the book. Okay, and now on to book number 2. Critical But Stable. Guys, drama, ne? Woo! Angela Makholwa really just pulled out the stops with this one. Look, it wasn't a long book, neither was it really detailed. The characters I felt could have been a bit more developed, but it was actually an amazing storyline. Bit more strong language than I would prefer, but I actually found it quite funny as a book. Well, for starters, it had an unexpected ending. Okay, anyway, before I get into all these nitty-gritties, which I'm already getting into, the book focuses on 4 different couples who are part of a society called the Kula Society, which is sort of like a high-end stokvel, like a social/investment kind of club where they meet up every month with these extravagant parties that they throw, and they have some contribution of money and so forth. But all these couples are married, and at face value they look rich, they look beautiful, they look successful, they look happy. But as the title suggests, all is not as it seems. They are critical but stable. These relationships, some of them are hiding criminal activities, some are hiding infidelity, some are hiding some serious financial issues. So when you start to just uncover the stories, you're just like, yikes. Sometimes, yeah, you shouldn't take things at face value, hey? And it just becomes very interesting as the story progresses. I can warn you though, the chapters are very short. So that can be a good thing in the sense that for me, I felt like it aided my reading. So I was able to just tell myself, I'll just read one more chapter. It's short. Just read one more chapter. But it can be a very stop-start kind of reading, like staccato, because you start this character and then you get introduced to them and then you stop. And then you pick up the other character and then you stop. And then you pick up the other character and you stop. But I think it does eventually come, together, sort of like some dendritic pattern, but like tree branches that then come together, in the trunk, and then you just start to see the story for what it is. Well, the storylines don't always converge in the sense that the other affects the other directly, but because they're all bound by this cooler society connection, that's essentially how they all know each other and they all know each other's business. And yeah, it gets lit. Hey? It goes from 0 to 100 in like a split second when somebody is found dead. And then that is all I'm going to say, because yikes, you're going to have to read it yourself. So it's a short read, I must say. Quick read. You can actually finish it in the morning or in an afternoon or in one day or a week at most. But yeah, like I said, I think it's worth reading. I think it's a very interesting book. Yeah, I did say a few things that I felt, were not great, but listen, I think the book does itself justice as a book, and I think it's an interesting read. Well done, Angela Makholwa. I am definitely recommending this one. Woo! Guys, we're reading my favorite book though now. Can I just say that A Promised Land has got to be my favorite book of the year so far? In fact, probably the past 2 years. I don't know. What book is better than The Promised Land?